Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope everyone is doing fine. Please, if this is the first time you are tuning into my channel, please watch the video, down to the end. Comment, tell me what you think in the comment section. Share the video, give me thumbs up, you know. And if you are a returning viewer, I want to say a very big thank you. Thanks a lot for, making our time to watch, you know, to click on this video. And I believe you're going to watch the video, down to the end or up to the end. I want to say a very big thank you to all of you watching this video. Now, if you are Ghanaian and you're watching this video, make sure you watch this video to the end. If you're Ghanaian, especially, and South African, in fact, if you are from these two countries I've mentioned, but most importantly, Ghana and Nigeria, because it's the two of you I want to talk about today. Because because you see, from the caption, from the title of the video, I said Ghana and Nigeria, should learn from the US and Canada. Nigeria and Ghana, every time it's as if they are competing. It's not as if. It's as if they are, yeah, it's not even as if they are competing. The Ghanaians are competing with the Nigerians. It looks as if the Nigerians, we are always competing like. But then when you look at Canada and the US, it's a different thing altogether. Now let's talk about something because I spoke about South Africa, but the reason why I'm saying that I want to focus on Nigeria and Ghana is that South Africa is not even in West Africa. We are not close to South Africa. Ghana is the closest English speaking country to Nigeria. You understand? So these two countries need to be collaborating and cooperating the more. Well, what is happening now? You see that it's as if they are competing. So that's why I say South Africa. I'm not talking about South Africa. It's Nigeria and Ghana, because if you want to bring in South Africa here, of course, South Africa and Nigeria, they always, fight for supremacy. And yes, to an extent, South Africa can match Nigeria, unlike Ghana. Sorry, I mean no insult though. But when you talk about top six, largest populations in Africa, I think South Africa is among there, and Nigeria, of course, is number one. But the population of Ghana is not close to Nigerian's population at all. So this is why I said, the battle for supremacy, Nigeria, and then South Africa, So let's leave them aside. But Ghana, that we are very close to, it should be that these two countries, Nigeria and Ghana, that they cooperate, in various aspects, various fronts. Now, let's talk about the relationship between Canada and US, and then let's relate it to Nigeria and Ghana's relationship. Now, the US, no doubt, virtually in all fronts, is bigger than Canada. But there are some ways also that there are some things that Canada do well more than the US, but still doesn't make them to start competing among themselves. Now, the America and the U and Canada, they are both English-speaking countries. They are neighbors. You understand? They are English-speaking countries. Though some part of Canada they speak French. Yeah, we are aware of that. But now, in Canada, you find out that when you talk about the top 10 livable cities, in the world, you see that some like up to 3 cities from Canada will make the top 10 list, but no city in the US will make that list. But this doesn't make Canadians to come online and start saying, oh, the US, oh, this happened, oh, that one happened. They don't do like that. They don't do like that. Then you see that massive, you understand, massive, I don't want to pronounce it because of policy, massive this thing, it happens in the US, but it doesn't happen in Canada, and still doesn't mean that the US is not a great country. Massive in the US, like school things, you understand. I don't want to mention it like that. It happens in the US. Mostly we hear it in the US. We don't hear, it's not something that we always hear about, like it happens, like happening in Canada. But this doesn't take away that the US is a great country. Talk about the GDP. It has the highest GDP in the world. The GDP of the US is bigger than the GDP of Canada. Canada is, I think, the second largest country after Russia. The US comes third. You understand? Please listen attentively to these comparisons I'm trying to say. Canada is the second largest country by landmass, followed by the US. You understand? When you talk about healthcare in the US is not free. Healthcare in the US is not free, but healthcare in Canada, no, it make free is free. But this doesn't take away that this doesn't take away the facts that the US is not just the largest economy in the world, has the largest military in the world. You know, the population of US, I think over 300 and something million, compared to the Canadian, like something 40 million or something. So you see that the America has many ways is bigger than Canada, but in some certain ways you will see that Canada is ahead, in some certain ways, above or the United States. But it doesn't, you don't see them come online and start, these fighting among themselves. Rather, they collaborate. See, an enemy of the US. Now, when you talk about the global, in the global scene, an enemy of the US is, nearly automatically an enemy of Canada. These two countries, like, they collaborate, and not just militarily, in entertainment, Hollywood. You won't even differ. You as an African, you might hardly differentiate between Hollywood, that of the US, and Hollywood, that of Canada. In fact, two of them, they come together and they act good movies. Hollywood, the only difference is that, just a thin differentiation in terms of name. In Canada, their own is Hollywood Nuts. Hollywood Nuts, Canada. But aside what I've just mentioned, like, they come together and they act good movies. Now, it might shock you to know that Celine Dion, that we all know Celine Dion, she's not from US. She's a Canadian. You understand? But you hardly know that she's Canadian. They come together. Sports. The America, Canada, you hardly even differentiate, because Charlie, they come together, they work together, hand in hand, and make sure that they improve on whatever they are doing. Let me tell you something about Canada. If a Canadian is traveling to the United States officials in Canada will be the ones to search with the bag and all that. When this person arrives in the US, he's not going to be searched again. So you see the collaboration, the cooperation between these two countries. But this is lacking for me. I think so. Amongst Nigeria, among Nigeria and between Nigeria and Ghana. Now, take for instance the entertainment I just talked about. Nigeria, of course, popularized Afrobeats. Now, when somebody that is a non-African doesn't even know the difference between Nigeria, this artist is a Nigerian or Ghanaian or Cameroonian and all that. They are just listening to the song and they are vibing to it, and like, this is African, it's African music. This is just how Canada and the US are. Like, when they put out something, you hardly differentiate between the two of them. But Nigeria and Ghana will always want to say, "Oh, Charlie, oh, our own is better than your own. Oh, your own make beans. Your own is not nice like our own. Imagine jollof rice. You are, I watched something online where they said, they blindfolded the eyes of some Europeans, and they say, test this Nigerian rice and Ghana rice. Tell us the one that is better. Tell us the one. See, imagine how we are behaving like kids. If it were to be Canada and the US, they wouldn't have time for all these, unhealthy rivalry, competition, bitterness. You understand? So it doesn't happen like this. For me, I think Nigeria and Ghana needs to come together. Yes, there are some ways that Nigeria, Ghana, are ahead of us. But there are many ways Nigeria is ahead of Ghana, no doubt. Now, for instance, when you talk about being organized. Yeah, some people will say that Ghana is more organized than Nigeria. Of course, there will be ways, or there will be some things that Ghana does better than Nigeria. But this doesn't take, the fact that Nigeria is a great country, doesn't take the fact that Nigeria is still the giant of Africa. You understand? So, of course, we need to come together. Now, look at our movie industry. Nigeria and Ghana, when they came together and they were producing movies, like those movies, now see the advantage. Those movies we are selling across boundaries of these two countries. Like, if a Ghanaian producer, like, or are producing a film, working with Nigerian actors and actresses, that movie, the market is going to rake in a whole lot of money from Nigeria too, because of course now it's not only Ghanaians that are buying the movie, Nigerians too. We will be watching the movie, buying the movie, and boosted, movie industry, in Africa, in between Nigeria and Ghana, they are doing fantastically okay. But what is happening today? We are no longer seeing those collaborations we used to see. The likes of Jackie Appiah and Buhari and Majid, come together with Nigerian actors and produce something nice. You understand? These things are not happening like before. I don't know what is going wrong. Now look at the music industry. Now, of course, the Ghanaians know Nigerians are big, big, big in the movie and music industry. But look at the Ghanaian musicians, like always want to compete with Nigerian musicians, or they don't want to work with Nigerian musicians, or hey, Charlie, we are big. Charlie, we can do this. We can now look at medical show. Medical show in the UK. Just imagine he put on a Nigerian. They went together and they would have sold more than the 2,000 capacity. They would have sold more than Indigo. They would have sold the whole O2 arena. I'm telling you this. If they came together and worked together, Charlie, it would have been a different thing. Now, in terms of sports, Nigeria and Ghana should even be doing these things together, but rather they will prefer to sit and say, okay, this person is failing, so we'll be able to laugh at him. Competition, bitterness, these things, Charlie, it doesn't make sense at all. Yeah, Nigeria has its own good, the ways where, Charlie, yeah, you can't beat her, Nigeria. As there are some places that Ghana cannot beat Nigeria, no matter how hard they try. Now, such places like when you check the GDP of Nigeria, is 400 and something, I think, $billion or so, and Ghana is 77, $billion or so. So you see that, of course, Nigeria is ahead. But when you talk about maybe Ghana being organized, yes, no doubt, Ghana is a very organized country, and quality of life, they ranked Ghana ahead of Nigeria and other. It's just the same thing like the US and Canada. Now, it's not because of the things you hear in Nigeria, then you say, oh, Nigeria is not a serious country and this and that and all that. You don't hear Canadians, saying things about US, this and that and that. And Nigerian content creators in Ghana are not helping matters. They come and they lie to you Ghanaians. They lie a lot, or they exaggerate things, and then you Ghanaians will just believe it without even doing proper, research. So, what is the purpose of doing this video? The purpose of doing this video is to tell Nigerians and Ghanaians that you can actually come together and make things work. You can come together like Canada and US and then cooperate and make sure say you push this West Africa self to the level where, yeah, if they see and they will say, yeah, West Africa, yeah, you guys, you understand. If this is the first time you're tuning into my channel, please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share this video. Okay, yeah, I want to see Nigeria and Ghana start working and start cooperating and not, competing. You understand? No, we shouldn't compete with each other. We should rather come together. Where you think Ghanaians can learn from Nigerians, Ghanaians can learn from Nigerians, and where Nigerians can learn from Ghanaians, they can learn from Ghanaians. They can share things, and security wise, sharing of intelligence, different things. There are a whole lot of ways Nigerians and Ghanaians can work together rather than coming, to bash themselves online and all that. Okay, so one love Africa. Please don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And see you guys in the next video. If you dare Accra, have a good time. Abuja, have a good time. Lagos, wherever you watch me from. Yeah, Tali. See you guys in the next video. Bye.